Thank you for tuning in today as we continue our Season 3 discussion on functioning over feeling. Today, we're stepping into a conversation that's close to our hearts and central to our personal story. Blending a family is one of the most beautiful and challenging assignments God can give to people. And when I say challenging, sometimes those letters are all in caps, bolded, and underlined. It can stretch your patience, it strengthens your compassion, it tests your emotional maturity, and it calls you to lead with purpose on days when your feelings do not always line up. My husband and I know this journey firsthand. We came into marriage with two separate worlds, two sets of experiences, two histories, and two groups of children who were learning how to trust again. From day one, we made a decision that helped everything. We would not be a step family. We would be a family. No explanations, no categories, no dividing lines, just commitment to grow and learn each other and to build something whole from what life had given us. But the truth is, blending a family isn't instant. It's a journey, and it's filled with loyalty pulls, emotional adjustments, growing pains, and moments where love and frustration show up in the same day. You can read every book, and life will still invite you to go deeper into maturity as you learn how to lead your home with unity and with faith. In this interview, you'll hear my husband talk about stability, togetherness, and why presenting a united front mattered more than anything. You'll hear him share how we had to become one another's covering and learn how to parent as one. And together, we will talk about spiritual oneness, and that changed everything for us. How seeing our children through God's eyes helped us to rise above the behaviors and connect with their hearts. This conversation is honest and tender and full of lessons that shaped us into the family we are today. A perfectly imperfect family who's still learning, who's still growing, who's still maturing each and every day. Whether you're blending a family, raising children, navigating relationships, or trying to lead with purpose in the middle of emotional storms, I believe this episode will meet you right where you are. So take a breath, settle in, and let's walk this part of the journey together. So, this is a good one, baby. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right. So we're going to go deeper, another layer. As I mentioned before, we are a blended family. And
A beautifully blended family.
yes, a beautifully, perfectly imperfect family. And we say blended because that's exactly what it is. We are two families that came together and merged into one. We were, from the very beginning, made it clear to our children we are not a step family. A step is a space between. We're not trying to take the place of your other parents. We are trying to become part of a bigger village because that's what keeps us whole. And there were some lessons along the way for us to get there. We didn't just step in the first year and this is where we were. It took us some time to get to this, but the one thing we did in the beginning was say that we are not a step family. And we didn't want our children to have to explain our family to anyone. If they chose to, or if they were sharing it to edify someone, then sure, then share it with them. But don't feel obligated to explain our family or our family dynamics. We're just a family. You're just sisters and brothers. It's that simple. But blending is not easy, and it's not for the faint of heart. So my question to you is, this blend comes with its own set of emotions. It comes with love. It comes with frustration. It comes with loyalty wars. How did you learn to lead with purpose when the emotions didn't always line up?
First, I want to go back to that blended because of the fact that we are beautifully blended. And I use beautifully very strongly because red and blue make the perfect shade of purple, which is my wife's favorite color. And I believe that we are that. We didn't start out like that, but we are that now. In fact, we were yellow and blue. We were very green in our approach to how to make this thing flow smoothly and let our children see our unity. So I'd have to say we had this knowledge early on. Leave and cleave. Leave and cleave. We knew that the temporary part of the permanency of parenting had to be in its proper place because our children would someday have to leave and cleave. They would have to start their own families. Thus, we had to present a united front. We couldn't show division in our partnership of parenting. We had to be solemn in that. We had to be each other's backup, be each other's covering, be each other's protectors in defending not just our places in the family, but also each other's hearts to make sure that what we weren't being led by our feelings toward our children, but led toward where we saw God taking our children. I'll say this, the things that we needed in order to make it through these moments and stay in that place of purpose were, one, we had to show our children stability. We had to show them stability, and there would be no separation between them. They would all be our children. So we immediately went through the process of eliminating this understanding of step. We aren't steps. We are parents. We are parenting. We gave them the option of calling us whatever they wanted to call us. We didn't want to go with respect. At the same time, we wanted them to understand that we were a mother and a father. We weren't a stepmother. We weren't a stepfather. We were just a mother and a father doing the best we could with what we were given in life, but also improving upon what we were given to give them more in the hopes that they would progress a lot further than we did.
Yes.
That was our hope and our belief. So, one, we had to show them stability. Two, we had to show them togetherness. We had to let them know that though we operated as two individuals, we were truly one. And we wouldn't allow anything to come in between that, anything to separate us from that ground. That was our foundation. We would show them a united front. If you needed something from mom, you needed to also go through dad. If you needed something from dad, you needed to also go through mom. There would be no, well, I knew about it and you didn't, or you knew about it and I didn't. It would always be a united front because we understood that it only takes a little bit of salt to ruin the cake. So we wanted to always show them togetherness. And although I'm saying show them togetherness, we also had to show them that there would be no separation.
Yeah.
We would not be pulled apart due to how they were feeling. We had to know and trust in all that God was giving us as far as how to parent, as far as how to love them unconditionally, and how to lead them as children in our home. So that's where I am with it.
And I agree with everything that you said, especially when you talked about the togetherness. For me, it wasn't just the togetherness and being one with one another, but also I believe that in those early years, we embraced oneness with God as parenting partners. And that was a change for me. I hadn't experienced that before, but learning how to do that made a huge difference in our family. It helped us to see our children separate from their behaviors, and it helped us to consider the emotional changes and the healing that was taking place in each one of them as well, and some of that coming out through their behaviors. And then when it came to that oneness, I remember the day it happened, they had been bickering. And from the very beginning, we always told our children, we had two sets at the time. Now we have three. The older children were teenagers when we blended our family. And then we had a 7 and a 3-year-old. And at the time, what we told them was respect is not an option. You will respect each other. You will ask before you borrow, respect each other's space. Love will come. We believed that love would come. And we learned that from another couple who blended. And I remember they would fuss and fight over little things. The teenagers thought the littles were just irritating and they want to be in our room and all of these things. And once we moved to our new home, we made a few changes. One was no televisions in the room so that they would all have to come out and learn how to negotiate TV time. And I remember we had a big sectional, and one day we came home and everybody was lined up on the sectional watching TV and eating popcorn and just having the best time. And we said, "What's this?" And they said, "We're bonding." And from that day on, we'd come home and they would be doing dance-offs and all these other things. The 7-year-old was the oldest child's model. He was in fashion design. They were working through their emotions, but they learned how to work through them together. And the thing that pulled everyone together was when we adopted a 7-day-old baby. We adopted our youngest child. Things really shifted because they all felt more like a family. This isn't yours or mine. This isn't your dad or your mom or my mom. This is our baby. This is our baby brother. And they all adored him and still do. And that's about the time they went from calling me Mommy Tyila to Mom, and you from Mr. Marcelto or Marcelto to Pop. I hope this conversation did more than inform you. I hope it encouraged you, because blending a family, leading a home, or stepping into a new season of purpose will always ask more of you than you expected. It will ask for patience. It will ask for humility. It will ask for emotional maturity. And sometimes it will ask for a level of unity that you have to grow into, not one you start with. When I look back at our early years, I see how God was shaping us through every misunderstanding, every collision of personalities, every emotional moment we had to bring before Him. I see how He taught us to see our children through the lens of healing instead of behavior. I see how He helped us to stand as one, even when it felt easier to stand apart. I see how He used our youngest child, adopted at 7 days old, to knit every heart in our home together in ways we never imagined. And then when we adopted our second child as a teenager, all of his siblings embraced him because they understood the importance of belonging. If you're blending a family, you are not failing because it feels hard. You're growing. You're becoming. God is shaping you into a leader who can love deeply, forgive quickly, and create a sense of belonging that transforms everyone under your covering. If you're parenting through tension or guiding children who are still healing, remember this: love takes time, trust takes time, oneness takes time, and God is faithful in every chapter. As long as you keep showing up with intention and grace, He will do the work that only He can do. Thank you for joining us for this conversation. Thank you for listening to our story with an open heart. And thank you for choosing to grow, to reflect, and to lead your family with purpose. Until next time, stay ready, shift higher.